Hey boys and girls, we are starting a new writing project today in Buzz, and we are going to mix up our writing a little bit. Before we were working on a Buzz essay and we were working on a Mr. Drake essay. We were doing two essays at the same time. I have decided, with talking to some of your students, some of the parents, just to try something different this time. So we are just going to do one essay. We are going to focus on the Buzz writing prompt. But I am going to supplement it, which means I'm going to give you information along with the Buzz writing prompt in the way that Buzz does it, so that I can teach it through the Silver Creek way. So if you were here at Silver Creek, this is how I would teach this writing prompt. So your decision is going to be, do you want to do it the Buzz way and follow the graphic organizer and the Buzz terminology to complete your writing essay, or do you want to do it the Silver Creek way and follow the Foursquare and the different routines that we do in order to write your essay? Either way, you're going to be working on the same essay. It's just your choice which way you want to do it. So today, we are starting it. We are in 4.01 Language Arts for 5th grade, and I'm currently on slide 10. This is where your writing essay is starting. So right here in this green box on slide 10 is your writing prompt. And so I'm going to read this. This is what we have to do. It says, tracing the tractor's legacy and the car catalyst, those are two different stories. Discuss two different modes of transportation and how they changed over time. Using the text, using those sources. Explain how transportation changed the world. Use evidence from the text to support your response. And so what we have to do is we have to read both of these sources, both of these articles. We have to get information, and our main point is to explain how transportation changed the world. That is what we're writing about. How did these two modes of transportation change the world? Okay, fine. So what do we have to do first? Well, we have to read the articles. Well, Mr. Drake, where are the articles? Well, good question. If we just scroll down a little bit, still on slide 10, we have tracing the tractor's legacy and the car catalyst. But right underneath it, there's these little blue papers. Those are the articles. And so we're just going to look at the first one, tracing the tractor's legacy text. And when we click on, it pulls up our article. And so we are going to have to read through this article and see what it's about. Now, while we're reading it or after we read it, we need to create notes about this source or about this article. Source 1, Article 1, or you can call it Tracing the Tractor's Legacy. It doesn't matter what you call it, but you need to know what the notes are, or when you take the notes, which article it's for, because we're going to be using it later when we write. So as a reminder, this is how I taught you all how to do your notes. So up at the top, I put down Source 1, Tracing the Tractor's Legacy, because I wanted to remember which article I'm talking about. And then I put my 5 W's and H: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Now, when I read through this article about tracing the tractor's legacy, or when I'm finished, I am going to answer these questions, or at least write the question out and then answer the question that I wrote out. What do you mean, Mr. Drake? Well, this is what I mean. I've already read the article, so I know what it's talking about, okay? Now, sorry. I do have something on here, just as a reminder. This is a little piece of the prompt, the writing prompt, what we have to write about. It says change the world. I want to remember when I'm doing my who, what, when, where, why, and how about tracing the tractors, how did it change the world? Because that is my writing prompt. Okay? So when I see the who, well, who used the tractors to help change the world? That's your question. Who used the tractors to help change the world? And you need to answer that in your notes. What used the tractors to change the world? Or what did the tractors do to change the world? Something about a what in changing the world with tractors. Now the next one's a little tricky. I'm going to help you out with this. It says, when did the tractors change the world? Well, when you read this, it talks about a timeline. and all the different dates where tractors changed and how they were modified to further change the world. So this isn't going to be one date. This might be a timeline of dates where you just jot down different things that happened different years of how the technology changed on the tractors to further change the world. So this when may be several different dates. Where? Where did the tractors change the world? Or where did this stuff happen at? Again, it might be several different things. You'll have to read the article. Why? Why did the tractors change the world? Why did the changes of the tractors change the world? Write down some reasons on that. Now you might want to remember what your question is. You'll probably have to write the question and the answer. So on Monday when you use this again, you can remember what in the world you did today. How? How did the tractors change the world? Write down that answer. When you're finished with this source, you're going to read the second source and do the exact same thing. Yes, you're going to have to create another piece of paper or flip this one over around to the back side and do it there. Or split your paper in half and do one on one side and one on the other. This might be a little bit long. I'd probably recommend front and back or two pieces of paper. So when we go over here, hopefully this will work. I just noticed my arrow isn't there. I don't know what happened to my arrow. There we go. So same thing, but this time we're doing source 2. It's called the car catalyst. We go back, we read the article, and this time we're reading the car catalyst. And again, when we're reading this, we want to answer these questions on how did the cars change the world. So our question is, who? Who did something to these cars to change the world? Or who used the cars to change the world? What? What did the cars do to change the world? Or what did the technology do to change the world? When? Again, this was kind of a timeline one. So on your when, you probably will have several dates. You'll talk about the different changes on the dates and when those changes happen to help change the world. Where? Again, different places. Where did these things take place to change the world? Why? Why did these car things, or why did these changes, or why did the technology change the world? Why are the cars important in changing the world? And then finally, how? Again, how did the cars change the world? Or how did these changes in technology with the cars change the world? Write down the question that you want to use and answer that question. Again, we're not going to use this again until Monday. You all will forget. I understand. I would probably forget too. That's why we write it down so that we're fresh in your mind. Now, that is all you're doing for your writing prompt today. So you can do it this way, or you can go back to slide 8 and it talks about brainstorming the buzz way. I'm sorry, not slide 8, I think yours is slide 11. I apologize. Back to slide 11, it talks about brainstorming. You can do it the buzz way, but I think this is pretty simple. I don't know really how to make it easier for you. The key is you have to save these until Monday. The other thing is I need copies of both sources' questions and answers. So when you finish, you have to snap a picture and send it to me via email, or snap the pictures and attach them to Buzz. Either way, I have to have this, so you have to turn it in. This is part of your assignment today. If you have any questions, please get on the Google Meet. I'll be glad to help you, or email me and I'll be glad to help you. But this is the only thing we're doing for the writing project today. We will start the other steps starting on Monday. All right, see you all later.